Look at what we have on the workbench today. Hello everyone, and this is Troy from Roadside RC. Today we are looking at the Axial SCX10iii Gladiator edition. Our friend, the Mr. Rich D RC, has dropped this off at our house. We recently did a build for him with the Red Cat Gen 8. But he did some trading, he ended up with this, and so we are going to give it a look, give it a test. If you follow along, you'll know I've never had one of these because honestly, I've always been a little negative towards them. They are expensive. You can get the Red Cat Gen 8 ready to run, $299. I mean, $300. It's such a great deal. You know, the TRX4 Sport ready to run, $320, $330, something like that. These things come in at $500. The standard version is, I think, $499, so it's right at $500. And this Gladiator comes in even at like $520. Easily $200 more than its competition. How is it possibly worth that extra money? Well, this one is bone stock. It is used, but it is bone stock. We're going to take it out on the RC crawler course in the backyard where we test all of our other vehicles. We're going to give it a shakedown, and we're going to see, like, is this thing really worth it? And we're going to look, like, what's its strengths, what's its weaknesses, and all that. Now, before we get out there, we got to look, you know, gotta love this body. I love the underside body mounting, the figure inside, the detail to it. You know, the truth is, they did a really good job on this body, lights included. That is definitely a pro versus its competition out there. Now, when we look under the hood, I think this is interesting, and there's a lot of people out there. This truck's been out. If you want to go see very good in-depth reviews, go check other YouTubers out. But this is just, you know, my initial thoughts when I look at this versus the other things that we run. You know, dual battery trays, great, got it. Like, you're giving us alternatives. But the truth is, there's really no reason for this one to be back here at all. If you put the bigger battery tray over here, then this one just doesn't need to be here. Like, this is just a waste. Full plastics on the side, they're okay. Big transfer case. I am not excited that this is a ESC and receiver in one. I mean, dude, I review $100 RC trucks that have ESC and receivers in one, not $500. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I struggle with that one, right? And it's all just about upgradability, future road down the path. Like, I don't know about that. And the fact that we get one little micro servo here that works for the dig, I think is awesome. But the fact that it's literally set up for another one, and the factory controller and all that can't do both. So I can't buy that other servo, put it in here, and use it all with a factory system. I don't know, that seems like they took a shortcut there that probably shouldn't have been there. Although my personal opinion is 2-speed is just a waste. So, you know, all the gears, everything that they have in here in order to make this a 2-speed is just wasted weight. But I do love the fact that that's nice and low. Everything in this chassis is nice and low until you get up here to the motor and the servo sitting side by side between those front shock towers. And this scale motor is just awesome. So this whole front piece right here, I just love this. I think this is a great design. On the underside, I've seen a lot of people that have broken these portals, and that was kind of new. That was when they first came out. I haven't heard as much of that since. I don't know if there was a spec change or what was going on there. And you look at the underside of the truck, the thing that just really stands out is how long it is back here. You know, this truck from wheel to wheel, center to center, is 14 inches, which is 1.5 inches longer than my TRX4 Sport. I mean, my TRX4 Sport, literally the center of the wheel's over here. Now, I hear that the truck gets away with it, and I'm guessing it doesn't belly out as much because the skid's not in the middle. All right, powered up, got a 3S LiPo in it. Let's go give this a test. I had to actually cut the first test run short because there was something, if you noticed in the video, the rear wheels would lose power. And so I came back in, I found a video by the Old Rich RC. Maybe provide a link down below to his video. He shows you exactly how to set the endpoints on the dig channel here so that it works. And I believe that was my problem because the servo was actually in the upright position. It was not fully engaged in the four-wheel drive. And now I actually have the ability to go into dig if I need to. So I think that was the problem. So let's go out and finish our test run. so there it is. First test on the channel ever, SCX10iii. And I'm surprised, right? Most of the stuff in the backyard obstacle courses, it did well. Things that we would expect to see and did. Of course, this rear bumper hangs off pretty far. It got caught on a lot of stuff because of the long wheelbase. It did get hung up on the bottom a couple times. So yeah, if I'm honest, the truck did better than I expected for the long wheelbase that it has. Never really needed dig anywhere that I was. I think Axial did a good job with the steering radius on the front of the truck. So even with it being so long, it does turn rather sharp. So kudos to Axial for that. Power was decent, right? They were running 3S, hopping up some of the hills and stuff. I felt like it probably could use another couple teeth on that pinion. But other than that, it was great. I think what really surprised me is the two spots on the rock wall in the front of the house. So the one is the up and in that it just couldn't make. Just could not get up that to save itself. Not even close. Couldn't even try. And now, granted, today's wet, a little bit wet, a little bit damp outside. That's not helping it, right? And as you can see in the tires, they do have some mud, they do have some dirt in them. But, you know, basically stock TRX4 would go up that. Stock Gen 8 would go up that. The flip side of that whole equation, though, is the impossible wall there at the very, very end. That impossible wall is named that for a reason. It's very hard to get vehicles up it. And yes, first attempt it didn't make it. But then after that, it made it over and over and over again. And the only thing I can guess is that that wheelbase is just long enough that it's helping those front tires get up and over and really pull the vehicle up. So that was pretty impressive. And so really it comes down to like, man, you know, this truck, depending on where you're going and what you're doing, it can be really, really great just straight out of the box. Really happy with it. So, you know, but it really comes in. This is still $500. Is it $200 worth it more than a Gen 8? I don't know. I'm going to have to think on that one. I don't think it is. I don't think it's $200 more worth it than the TRX4 Sport. It's just think about what else you could do with that $200. That's the price tag difference. So that's where I struggle with this. And talk about that all-in-one ESC and receiver combo. That will eventually bite you at some point down the road when you have to replace it, because all electronics will eventually fail. But, and this is my buddy's, this is the Rich DRC. He's going to let me drive it some and borrow it, so we need to do some upgrades to this thing. You know, obviously we need to do tires on it. These ready-to-run tires, they're good. Maybe they could be a little bit better with some cutting. You know, open them up a little bit. You can see they're not clearing the mud out very well at all. You know, so maybe we can open them up and actually gain some there, or just swap over to something that we love and know already. Overdrive gears in the front, some more weight in the front. You know, the truck overall is already nose heavy. And so I am guessing a little bit of extra weight on the front will make a big difference for this truck. And then we'll look at a couple other things and see if there's anything else that we need to do. Obviously, like I said, tucking in the rear bumper, getting this rear bumper in. I was catching this part of the body a lot. You can actually see where it's cracked there. Catching this rear of the body, hitting that bumper on all sorts of stuff. And so what can we do here in order to make this better? That's something that we need to look at. Front bumper was not much of an issue, only caught it once or twice, but we could still gain a little bit probably by shoving it back in there. But that's the complication of this undermount body setup, is we can't do too much and interfere with how that body mounts. So we will have to look and see what is possible. So anyway, I'm going to get ordering some parts. I'm going to get working on that. In the meantime, please come over. Check out some of these other videos that we've already made. You know, ask me some questions down below, or I would love to hear from you. Do you have SCX10iii, either the Gladiator version or the standard version? What have you done to it? What are the best things that you've done in order to help it improve? I'd love to hear it. So thank you. As always, I really appreciate your support for the channel, and we will see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.